Hello friends, today we're going to be talking about the portrait photography. If you want to make your portraits look from good to excellent, this video is for you. Let's talk about portrait photography, and before knowing that, we should know that what are the advantages of a DSLR. For example, many people will say that nowadays the smartphones come with 18 megapixels or 20 megapixels, but you should always remember the 6 megapixels of your DSLR are always better than the 20 megapixels of your smartphone. Why? Because the DSLR provides the larger sensor, in simple terms. While talking about the portrait photography, the professionals prefer the full frame body over the cropped sensor body. Why? Because the full frame has the huge sensor as compared to the cropped sensor body. For example, I would always choose the older 60 or the D750 from Nikon over the newer D7500 or Canon 80D. Why? Because the full frame provides a huge advantage over the full cropped sensor body while clicking the portraits. Another important thing which we need to remember is that which lens we are using. This is the important thing to be considered. For example, the professionals generally use the prime lenses for clicking the portraits, the prime lenses which include the 35mm, 50mm or the 85mm, which have the wider aperture, say around 1.8, 1.4 or 1.2, which is significant for clicking the portraits, which provide the shallow depth of field and are extremely useful in the low lighting conditions. What wider aperture does is that it allows more light to hit the sensor of the camera. Another important thing which you need to consider while clicking the portrait is the focus points. For example, I would generally use a single focus point for clicking the portrait, and I place that focus point precisely on the eyes of my subject, and to make my subject look more catchy, because eyes are the most important thing to be considered while clicking the portraits. And while talking about the technical terms, we should remember the directorial and the journalistic approach. In directorial approach, we guide our subject according to our own will and tell him how to move or how to look. And while in directorial approach, the subject is unaware of being clicked. And one more important thing which we need to consider while clicking the portrait is the rule of thirds. What rule of thirds is that we divide our image into 9 parts vertically and horizontally, and we place our subject precisely on the intersecting points. And this is how our photos look more professional and look extremely good. Thank you.